ओम नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। यन्नित्यमानन्दमनन्तमेकं शिवेति नाम्ना श्रुतयो गृह्णन्ति तस्यावतारो नररूपधारी कृपासुदाब्धि भुवि रामकृष्णः। जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयो श्रुत्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याता सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। यस्यात्मभूतस्य गुरोः प्रसादाद् अहं विमुक्तोऽस्मि शरीरबन्धाद्। सर्वोपदेष्टुः पुरुषोत्तमस्य तस्याङ्घ्रियुग्मं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम्। Ultimate teaching of entire Veda Pramana is Tad Tvam Asi. Tad Jagat Karanam Tvam Asi. You are that infinite entity for which you are searching. You are that entity is the teaching. This teaching is very unique teaching because this one teaching makes the entire Vedic literature as a pramana. If this teaching is absent in Veda, then Veda ceases to be a pramana. Because we have seen in the previous classes, any pramanam should fulfill three criteria: anadhigata, abhadita, arthavat. A source of knowledge should teach me something which other sources of knowledge cannot reveal, and that revelation should not be negated by other sources of knowledge, and that revelation should be useful for my life. This teaching, which is in the form of a simple formula, U is equal to that entity. Which entity? That entity which is the source of entire creation, which is the adhara of entire creation, is U. This simple teaching makes a person stop running. He is in search after so many things in life because of one notional conviction that I am small, that I lack so many things in my life. At all levels, I am an insignificant entity. Time-wise, space-wise, material-wise, size-wise. In all spheres, I am an insignificant entity. I cannot stand that insignificancy. I cannot stand the idea that I am small. Therefore, to see myself as a significant one, infinite one, I search after so many things. And if a person, if he is a matured and intelligent person, he will come to a conclusion that however much I possess, still my insignificancy, my littleness will not go, because the problem is I am little. I am little cannot go. I have something. I am little idea cannot go by the idea that I have something. You have something, but still you are little. So therefore, if the problem is I am little, the solution must be I am infinite. That is the solution given in the Veda. You are not little, that is the notion. You are not insignificant, that is the notion. You are not away, you are not excluded from the totality, that is the notion. And that revelation comes in a form of simple formula, Tad Tvam Asi. If a person really wants to get rid of his smallness, really wants to get rid of the suffering born out of smallness, Veda says one should get it. One should get this knowledge, because knowledge means it's a truth and it cannot be negated. Therefore, one should assimilate that knowledge. Atma va are drashtavyaha, shrotavyaha, mantavyaha, nididhyasitavyaha. So one should see the fact as it is. Instead of making a judgment without any data and suffering out of that false judgment, one should see whether there is any locus standi for this judgment, whether any reliable data is there for this judgment, whether any reliable source of data is there for this judgment. And we have seen neither the source of judgment, the pramana, indriyas are reliable, nor their data are reliable. So finally, we end up with an answer, I don't know about myself. When I don't know about myself, then there is only one solution. I should know what I am through the another source of knowledge, and that is given in the Veda with this simple revelation, Tad Tvam Asi. If a person doesn't gain this knowledge and spends his lifetime in other pursuits, keeping the notion as a locus standi for his life, keeping the notion that I am small, therefore I have to acquire, by acquiring something I will be significant one. If a person leads that type of life, Shastra calls him Kripanaha, miserable one. Yova edadaksharam gargi aviditva asma lokat praiti saha Kripanaha. Atha yaha edadaksharam gargi viditva asma lokat praiti saha Brahmanaha. If a person leaves this physical body without knowing this truth, he is a wretched one, miserable one, unfortunate one. Wherever he goes, there is a list of suffering which he has to go through. Wherever he goes without this knowledge that I am infinite, he is subject to suffering, even if it is Brahmaloka or Shivaloka or Vaikuntha-loka. That is the assertion. So the entire Veda stands on this one small statement called Tad Tvam Asi. Then we may ask a question. If entire Veda teaches this alone, if entire Veda wants to teach this alone, then why should it talk about God? Why should it talk about sadhanas? Why should it talk about punya, papa? Why should it talk about surga, naraka? That question comes. So you have taken this one statement of the Veda as a pramanam. There are other philosophers, there are Dvaitic philosophers who take other statements of Veda as pramanam. You are different from God. Atatvamasi, atatvamasi, atatvamasi. 9 times told. Yesho anima aitadatmyam idagam sarvam tat satyam sa atma tattvamasi is the statement. So by grammar, dirgha atma plus tattvamasi. You can split it, tattvamasi or atatvamasi. You are not saha, you are dasaha. You are not the Brahman, you are servant of Brahman. So one commentator has told. So how can you justify other statements which reveal something which I don't know? I don't know God, I don't know Surga, Naraka, I don't know Punya, Papa. But Veda reveals it. Therefore it is Pramanam, not necessarily this teaching. Not necessarily the teaching, Advaitic teaching makes it Pramanam. Then our Acharya says, okay, you know already you are a small entity. It gives another angle of smallness. As Jiva, you are a small person, which you don't know. It gives another angle of smallness. You know the existence in this world. You don't know existence in the other worlds. Therefore, when it says about other worlds, it's a new thing. Even if you take those things as pramana, that you are a small entity, even if you take those things, will you be satisfied with that teaching is the question. Will your cry stop? That is the question. Even after going to Vaikuntha, you will cry, I want to serve the Lord, I want to serve the Lord. Mother Lakshmi will not allow you. How much time she will allow you? And there is Prahalada, there is Vibhishana, there is Hanumanji. Certainly, ordinary person is not equal to their devotion. Therefore, Shastra Parampara says, Taratamyatvat, karma phalasya taratamyatvat, samsaritvam continues. Wherever you go, the samsara, I am small, continues. So you can never be satisfied. That's what Veda itself, even after revealing all these things, which may make us to consider that still I am small. Even after revealing all those things, the Veda itself negates. Na jayate mriyate va. It negates that you are not born at all. Dvidiyad vai bhayam bhavati. Neha nanasti kinchana samrityo mrityamapnoti. There is no second entity at all. One who sees the second entity as a reality, then he is subject to birth and death and suffering. Therefore, Vedanta Shastra Parampara is very, very clear in deriving the main teaching of the entire Veda. Why the Shastra talks about Surga, Naraka, Papa, Punya, travel after the death, sadhanas. Why it talks about? Because one portion of the Veda cannot be thrown into the dustbin. Even though it doesn't help us, we should find why it is told. Accepting Vedanta and not accepting the Karma Kanda will not work. Entire Veda is a Pramanam. So what is the position given for Karma Kandam? Then the Parampara gives clarity. It says, due to three main reasons. Varieties of reasons are there. Because of three reasons, Veda talks about duality, even though we know that duality. Even though we know through our sense organs there are so many things, still it talks about duality for three reasons. And if you find in our society, three types of people are there. Varieties of people are there. They can be brought into three categories. One is matured and intelligent. Another one is immature and intelligent. Third one is immature and not intelligent. Matured intelligent, immature but intelligent, and third one is immature and not intelligent also. Three categories are there. For first category, he is a matured person. He is a matured person in knowing the limitations of limited things. What is the maturity? Knowing things as they are. He is the matured person in knowing the limitations of limited things. Whatever I do is limited by time and space causality. Therefore, whatever result I gain will be limited by time, space, causality. That is the maturity. Pariksha lokan karmajitan brahmano nirvedamayat. That is the maturity. These are this much only. Wealth is nice, but it has this much area. Sense pleasures are okay, but it has this much area. Long life is okay, but this long life, longest life also will have last day. Then healthy life is nice, but that also is subject to go away. Shobhava martyasya yadanta kaitate sarvendriyanam jarayanti tejaha api sarvam jeevitam alpameva tavaiva vaha tavanritya gite na vittena tarpaniyo manushyaha lapsyamahe vittamadrakshma chetva jeevishyamo yavadishyasitvam varastume varaniya sayeva. 8-year-old boy, so much intelligent and so much matured. He says, whatever you have offered me by free check, open check, I don't want. You offer long life, longest life possible in this creation is Chaturmukha's life. So that also will have last day. Then wealthy life. Can you point out any one person satisfied because of wealth? Then healthy life. Can you point out a person who lived up the end of life with health? And can you point out a person satisfied with cinemas and dramas and journeys in car? Therefore, keep everything with you. Then what do you want, my dear Nachiketas? What do you want? Anyatra dharmad, anyatra adharmad, anyatra asmat, krita kritat, anyatra bhutascha bhavyascha, yat tad pashyasi tadvat. Master question it is. Tell something which is neither in the past, nor in the present, nor in the future, which is above all this skala. Tell something which is neither good or bad. Tell something which is neither cause nor result. And that too, if you know, you tell. Don't bluff. Then Yamadharmaraja beautifully appreciates the very question and the maturity of the questioner. And he says, Tadu Tvamasi Nachiketas. You are that. You, the infinite consciousness, is that which is beyond all the three periods of time, which is neither cause nor effect, which is neither good nor bad. That is the teaching. So this teaching should be given for whom? For the matured and intelligent person. He is already matured in knowing the limitations, and he is intelligent in asking the questions about the reality. Koham kuta ayataha kame janani kome tataha. Who am I? You go and ask your mother, who am I, mummy? She will tell, what happened? Sunday evening you went to Ramakrishna Mission? Kuta ayataha, from where I have come? Oh, confirmed. What is confirmed? Something wrong happened is confirmed. Kame janani, pakka confirmed. Who is my mother? Kome tataha, who is my father? Confirmed. Let us go to Kirpakam Medical College. She will take. Correct? So these questions we don't ask in general. But there are some fortunate people who ask these questions. And the question should be answered. Because pramanam means it should answer all the questions. So therefore, in order to teach the reality, Shastra talks about duality. In order to teach the reality, duality is talked about. I know duality. Yes, you know. That is why it is talking about duality. Why? Because the teaching can begin only from where you know. Teaching can begin only from known to the unknown. You know that there is a creation and you are existing. These two things we know. Every individual knows that I exist and this creation exists. This world exists. Then when it is told, the person is comfortable. Yes, he is beginning from where I am. Alphabet has to be taught to the child. The child knows what is apple. Apple means something to be put inside the mouth. So how mother begins the teaching? A for apple. Apple is known. A is unknown. Alphabet A. Mother teaches unknown alphabet through known object called apple. A is neither for apple nor apple. Correct? But it's the teaching method works. Similarly, Veda also starts the teaching. You are there and creation is there, society is there, and it is causing trouble. Yes, I am troubled by this society. So from there teaching starts. So beginning, I am there, creation is there. Two things are there. Then the teacher brings the third entity which I don't know. By a question, he asks, if there is a product called this creation, there must be someone as producer. Do you agree that? You are there and this table is there. If table is there, then there must be a cause for this table. There must be a producer for this table. Maybe material cause or intelligent cause. Yes. It is logical. Nothing comes out of nothing. Nothing comes out of nothing. Suppose if I say this MP3 player, this mobile phone, I have brought from Himalayan Springs. Will you believe? So far you are talking nice only. What happened, Swami? You will tell. Because you know it's a product. It cannot come out of nothing. There is so much software and hardware is there. So there must be someone as a producer, something as a cause. So that cause is brought, Karana, Tattvam is brought. Two concepts have become now three concepts. At the beginning, two concepts. I am there, creation is there. Now Ishvara is brought, third concept. Once Ishvara is brought as Upadana Karanam, then what happens? Let us take an example of a pot. I am there, pot is there. Agreed. If pot is there, there must be clay. Agreed. Then what do you mean by pot? What do you mean by pot? If pot is there, there must be clay. What pot it is? Clay pot. Correct? There must be clay. Then, if pot is clay, then what is pot? Once the clay is brought as the cause for the pot, now Vedanta asks, what do you mean by pot? You tell. Is pot on the clay, at the top of the clay, inside the clay, different from clay, or included in clay? You tell. You cannot answer any question. You cannot say pot is on the top of the clay. You cannot say pot is inside the clay. If pot is inside the clay, where is the pot? You tell. If you say pot is outside the clay, all right, you take pot, I take clay. So you cannot answer. Then Vedanta says pot is a mere name given to the form of the clay. Vacharambanam vikaro namadeyam mrittika ityeva satyam. So two concepts became three. Now again three concepts became two. Beginning two concepts, I and creation. Then it became three concepts, I, creation and creator. Now again it becomes two concepts, I, creator. Creation has gone. Creation has become a name and form, mithya. Then finally I and creator existing, that is what made as one entity by this ultimate revelation. Tadu tvam asi. Tadu jagat karanam. The creator is you. So how nicely teaching happened, you see. Why this method should be? Some other method you can try. Guru Parampara says no other method is possible. Teaching can happen only from known to the unknown. When you begin the journey of learning, you began with two concepts. When you end, only one. In our life, we hear four types of things. One is absolute reality. Another is absolute unreality. Third one is personal reality. Fourth one is perceptional reality. Absolute reality, absolute unreality, personal reality. Fourth one is perceptional reality. In Sanskrit, for absolute reality, Paramarthika Satyam. For absolute unreality, Tucham or Asatyam. For personal reality, Pratibhasika Satyam. For perceptional reality, Vyavaharika Satyam. I will explain. God is the only reality. We come across this type of statements in our religious books. We come across God is the only reality. Where is He? What is He? We don't know. Because it is reality, it cannot be negated. It cannot be told it's not there. Why? Because it is reality. Another one is absolute unreality. Tucham or asatyam. Sasashrungaha. One example. There is a word Sasashrungaha. Rabbit horn. There is a word Is there any object? Rabbit horn. So there is a shloka. Bhagavan Shankaracharya quotes in his Bhashya. Mrigatrishnaam vasi snataha ka pushpakrita shekaraha yesha vandyaputraha yati shashasringa dhanurdharaha. Here goes a son of barren woman, having taken bath in mirage water, wearing the flowers born out of Akasha, having a dhanush bow made up of rabbit horn. It's a clean statement, no grammar mistake. Here goes a son of barren woman, having taken bath in the mirage water, decorating himself with the flowers of the space, having the bow made out of rabbit horn. 4 things are mentioned. Son of barren woman. Is it possible? Son of barren woman? Anybody has seen? No. Flower born out of space. Is there anything like that? Water called mirage water. Is there anything? And bow made up of rabbit horn. Is there anything? All the 4 things are not there at all. But still we can form a statement. It looks like a revelation, but it is not revelation at all. Revelation means what? A statement which reveals something to you, new. So this is called tucham, not there at all. Third one is personal reality, our dreams. I am chased by tiger and shouting, please save me, save me. Next to me, mother is sleeping and she gets up and says, where is the tiger? But perception of tiger is very, very real, because after getting up also I am gasping. But for mother, it is not a reality. Therefore this reality is called pratibhasika satyam, personal reality. Then vyavaharika satyam, perceptual reality. Everyone sees the sunrise and sunset, but there is nothing called sunrise and sunset. But everyone sees. I perceive certain things which are not reality. Now you tell, in these 4 categories, which can be discussed and negated? You cannot discuss Paramarthika Satyam because it is not available for any discussion at all. You need not discuss because it is Paramarthikam. Mere existence is enough. So there is no need for discussing about the Paramarthika Satyam. And there is no need for discussing about Tucham, Asatyam. Because it is not there. Why should I discuss? So these 2 things need not be discussed. Then other 2 things only should be discussed. Other 2 things are personal reality and perceptual reality. Personal reality need not be discussed by the scripture. Because mother will tell, hey, there is no tiger, nothing else, nonsense, these are all dream, give up. Or I myself will get up from that delusion, personal delusion. A young boy thinks that so and so will fulfill my life. If I marry that girl, she will fulfill my delusion. After marriage only, he will come to know that it is a delusion. Varieties of personal delusion. If I get this job, my whole life is successful. He gets that job, then finally he finds, oh, this is a delusion. Like that, personal delusion can be handled by the very individual himself or herself, or by the society. So only one area is there which Shastra has to talk. What is that? Everybody sees that thing, but it is not reality. Everybody sees this creation as a real entity. Shastra comes and says, this creation as creation is not real entity, it is an appearance of the original reality. That infinite consciousness appears to you in this form. Like scientists say, that molecules appears in the form of table, in the form of mic, in the form of body. Every blessed thing is nothing but molecules. Shastra goes one step ahead and says, it's not molecules, it is you, the conscious entity. So, the need for introducing and discussing the idea of duality is for teaching purpose. And this teaching is only for matured and intelligent people. Then second category is there. They are intelligent but not matured. Immature but intelligent. Intelligent in the sense, they smell there is something wrong in my perception. Something wrong. In young age I thought if I get lot of money I will be happy, but I am not happy. As a bachelor I thought if I marry I will be happy, but not so. So something wrong is going with me. What is right? Why I have come? Why this birth? Everyone says one reason. So he is thinking, but at the same time not mature. For him, religion should come. For him, religion should come in his life. Therefore, Ishvara is talked. Bhagavan created this creation. And you had lot of punya and papa. Therefore, to exhaust those punya and papa, you are given one chance in Manushya Janma. Out of 84 lakh species, this body, human body is one beautiful thing. You can make use of it. So for him, again, Shastra talks about Ishvara, Swarga, Naraka, Papa, Punya, sadhanas. And if you are not interested in anywhere going, you can here and now gain the knowledge about the reality and get rid of the entire drama. So therefore only Shastra talks about Ishvara and asks us to lead a dharmic life, devotional life, useful life. So he is intelligent but not matured. Karmakanda portion wherein duality is talked for his maturity. We cannot bypass bhakti, we cannot bypass karma yoga, we cannot bypass values in our life. Today you heard that you are Brahman, tomorrow you cannot say, I know I am Brahman, therefore I will do whatever I want. You cannot say. Virochana, one asura was there. He also went for Gurukula, Brahmaji's Gurukula, along with Indra, to learn. But Indra being matured and intelligent, he gained the knowledge. But this fellow, he went to learn, therefore intelligent, but immature. Halfway he came out. Because every teaching was taught, every class was taught after 42 years of service. Like that 4 classes he takes, then only he reveals the ultimate reality. But this fellow was always restless, immature, so therefore somehow he managed 42 years, and that time itself he missed a lot of gala time because drinking, dance and other things he missed. So he was waiting for one class. When the first class is over, he told, teacher, I understood, I am going. You understood? Alright, you go. Then what happened? He understood how this body is Atma, he understood. Therefore, whatever is done to this body is done to the Atma. Therefore, apply fair and lovely and scent. Decorate this body with necklace, rings. We are laughing, but actually we are in that stage only. Correct? We are decorating the body, but simultaneously what we are thinking? I am decorating myself. Whatever is given to this body is taken as given to me. Atma means myself. Food is given to body, but I say, I have eaten. Fair and lovely and scents are, perfumes are applied to the body, but I say, smelly I am. So whatever is given to the body is taken as given to myself. So that person should be made matured. How? No, 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 no. Body is different. You are different. Your body will die, but you will not die. You will travel to another loka. And there is one Yamadharma Raja, servant of Ishvara. He will not give judgment according to whims and fancies. He will give judgment according to your own actions. And there are two places, jail and garden. If you are doing good things, you will be sent to garden. If you have done bad things, you will be sent to jail. Therefore, be careful. Satyam vada, dharmam chara. So all these things, Ishvara, sadhana and sadhyam. Ishvara is karmaphala dhata, therefore he is revealed. Sadhana is actions for maturity, and sadhyam, result of those actions. What are all the sadhyams? Varieties of sadhyams, starting from place in the higher lokas onwards up to putra kameshti yaga. You want male son with curly hairs, with white skin, you will get it. There is a yaga, like that varieties. No, I am not interested in those things. All right, the same sadhana can be practiced for making your mind as a matured mind, a qualified mind for this ultimate knowledge, and that qualification is called sadhana chatushtaya sampattihi, vivekaha, seeing things as they are, vairagyam, giving up small things in order to gain higher things, giving up small things, giving up balloon. As even you grow, you are expected to give up balloon. You imagine 21st birthday, father asks the child, my dear son, what gift you want at the 21st birthday? 21-year-old boy says, keeping his thumb inside the mouth, I want balloon. Will the father be happy? So you are expected to grow along with the physical body. Mind also is expected to grow. But body grows naturally because it is under nature's control. Mind doesn't grow because it is under our control. Mother is waking her son. Hey, please get up. No, mummy. Hey, you have to go to school. No, mummy, I don't want to go to school. Hey, please get up. Everybody will be waiting for you. No, even though they wait for me, when I go there, they criticize me, they pull my legs. I will not go. Hey, you have to go because you have the school key. You are headmaster. Please get up. What do you do? Headmaster also says same thing, and primary school student also is telling same thing. Body grows, but mind doesn't grow. Swami Vivekananda calls that type of personality as mustached babies. Mustache is there, beard is there, meesa irukku, dadi irukku, but babies. Because everyone is in that condition, nobody recognizes. Because it is inside. Maturity is, mental maturity is not seen by others. When you open your mouth, then only it is seen by others. Physical immaturity is seen by others. Sucking the thumb is seen by others. Playing with the balloon and marbles is seen by others. We don't do that, but still we are playing with balloons only. Small things. So one is expected to give up small things for the sake of higher things. That is the sign of growth. The same sadhanas and pujas, japa, prayers should be continued, not for gaining surga, not for gaining employment, not for gaining a son or daughter, not for gaining even punya or papa, but for gaining maturity. Sadhana chatushtaya sampattihi, they call it. Vivekaha, seeing things as they are. Vairagyam, giving up small things for the sake of higher things. Then shamadamadi, mental control, sense control, varieties of values should be there in our mind. Because an angry person cannot assimilate the teaching, you are Brahman. You imagine there is an angry man and he gains this teaching. Suppose he hears this teaching, then he goes on, tells to others, do you know I am Brahman? with angry mood. Or a sorrowful person cannot assimilate this teaching. Teacher says you are Ananda Swarupaha. This fellow heard. Generally he is sorrowful. Today I heard I am Ananda Swarupa. Cryingly you cannot say I am Ananda Swarupa. With anger you cannot say I am everything. With selfishness you cannot say I am you. I am everything means what? I am you. I am aham asmi iti. I am aham asmi. This is myself. Therefore, I don't run towards any blessed thing. I don't run away from any blessed thing. Neither I run towards nor I run away from that. So life becomes a matured life. Agate swagatam kuryat. Gachantam na nivarayet. Whole life we suffer. How? We don't want certain things to come to us. We don't want certain things to leave us. But that only happens. A mother-in-law doesn't want daughter-in-law to come to house. Or daughter-in-law doesn't want mother-in-law to come to house. Modern generation. But they only will come. So when they arrive, if you don't like them, they are source of suffering. When they leave, apada, ponangada ba. A child arrives in a family, you are with full laugh. The same child, without telling, goes away. Either physically or with life itself goes away. So you are suffering. So, entire human suffering is because of arrival and departure. I should be balanced. That balance is called Shamadhi Shatka Sampattihi. Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana. So mind is kept balanced way with all human values. Then fourth one is strong desire for freedom, mumukshutvam. So all these things are taught where? In the Veda only. Tametam Vedanu brahmanaha vividishanti yajnene danene tapasa anashakene. Tametam Vedanu vividishanti tam atmanam etam atmanam vividishanti. This infinite nature of oneself is known by whom? By whom? By this matured and intelligent people. Brahmanaha vividishanti. How they became Brahmana? Not by birth, not even by learning Vedas, not even by doing priestcraft duty. Yajnene, danene, tapasa. Yajna, dana, tapas. So Veda itself says that. What is their level of maturity? Putraishanayascha, vittaishanayascha, lokaishanayascha, ata vitthaya bhikshacharyam charanti. They don't have these three types of desires. They don't have putra eshana. They don't have desire for sense pleasures. Putra eshana is the example for sense pleasure. Vitteshana, example for possession. Varieties of possession. Power, position, wealth. Then lokeshana, desire for going to heavens or desire to become famous in this creation itself. All these three things are subject to arrival and departure. Therefore, vyuthaya, handing over to the next generation, not throwing away. Handing over these things to the next generation. Suppose when you were a child, you were given that 3-wheel cycle, Moonu Chakra Vandi. It is carved in nice wood. So you used it. Then you keep it. For whom? For your future child. Then you hand over those things. You build a house. You used it. Alright, I am going to die. Let me put one bomb and destroy the house and go. You don't say. You give it, hand over these things to next generation. Similarly your knowledge, similarly your culture. You learn nice things from the elders, so you hand over. Therefore you need all these small things, but you cannot hold on to them. Vyuthaya. You have to be away from them. Not with curse. These are all problematic things. Therefore I run away. After you are running away also, there also another problem is there. When Arjuna wanted to run away from battlefield because of problematic duty, Bhagavan told, no, you cannot do that. Why? Even if you take sannyasa, you will start Sannyasis Welfare Association. Because your Rajo Pravritti is there. Adachetum ahankarat na yokshase iti manyase mityaisha vyavashayaste prakritistam niyokshase. Your Prakriti will take you. You cannot run away. You have to grow. You cannot jump. So how this growth comes? Growth comes by life experience and simultaneous alert mind and simultaneously exposure to the satsanga. So sadhus come here. Association with sadhus come in our life. Association with Shastra comes in our life. Association with the Lord comes in our life. Yajnene, danene, tapasa. Yajna dana tapakarma natyajyam karyameva tate. Yajno danam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. Bhagavan says, 3 things should never be given up. Relationship with the Lord, relationship with the society, and relationship with your core personality. Relationship with the Lord is called yajnaha, worship, which is in the form of daily prayers, Sandhya Vandana, Gayatri, Nama Sankirtana, Nama Japa. All those things should be there. Whole day you cannot do because you have other duties also. But at least morning 45 minutes, evening 45 minutes. That is the prime time. But nowadays prime time is something going on. Many houses don't light the lamp also. Horrible. Then they suffer. Yajna. There must be a charging period. Even for a small instrument called mobile, you require what? Charging period. Morning, evening, you charge yourself. Connect with the Lord. Sit along with Him. Sitting along with Him is called upasana. Upa-asanam. Samipe asanam tishtati. Iti upas. Just sit with Him and talk to Him. He is not available tangibly, but He is available intangibly. He speaks to you, hears you. If suppose Bhagavan doesn't hear, will anybody will go to temple, you tell? You go to a Tahsildar office, nobody is there. Will you go daily? The very fact people come to Tahsildar office shows what? Files are transacted. Files are moving, correct? Something is happening. That is what in temple. Because files are moving. Bhagavan, I don't have child. Okay, files are moved. Okay, child has come. Money, moved. So many small things, files, petitions, applications are moving. That is why people go there. Are we so idiot to go to a blank place? Are we idiot to go in a trouble-making place? Suppose you go to a place, that fellow gives always trouble. Will you go there? And Bhagavan is sitting there asking you to come. And he is waiting. And he knows what he will tell. Same tape recorder only he will tell. I don't have. Same tape recorder he will tell. 20 years, 30 years, 40 years he will tell same thing. He will hear that. No problem. Even your son also will not hear. 3rd time, 4th time you tell. Appa, how many times same thing he will tell. But my Krishna is there. He will hear. Same thing he will hear. And he will not talk. You go to a place to tell you, share your problem, and that fellow starts his Ramayana again. But Bhagavan will not do that. He will hear, that's all. And silently solves the problem. So yajna is a must. Then dhanam. As you received something from the society, you should give back when you grow. That is called dhanam. If you don't give, he will know how to take it from you. There are corporate hospitals, international schools, Bhagavan Center, these are 20 years you took bribe, saved 40 lakhs. All right, I will make your son 2 mark less. 40 lakhs you pay, over. International schools, nothing is taught. But moha is there, some delusion. Corporate hospitals, our doctor is nice because he knows us. He knows what are all the problems we have personally. Family doctors they call. But now Moha has come, corporate hospitals. So everyone has their own agenda. Bhagavan sees that, all right. Koda kantana irundiya? Vida kantana anupren. I will know how to. So dhanam, then tapas. You cannot go on use your sense organs in sensory pleasures. சாப்பிட்டுட்டே இருந்தா பல்லு போயிடும். If you go on eating, teeth will go. If you go on seeing TV, eyes will go. Go on hearing FM, hearing capacity will go. So tapas is a must. Then one day will come in your life that you will see, you will know, without me they will be more happy. Who will be more happy? My family members. Without me they will be more happy. That time you have to say, Ata Vuthaya Bhikshacharyam Charanti. You go to the place where you get the reality of life, reality about yourself. Therefore, all these things are taught in the Veda, same way. Then third category is there, immature and unintelligent. For that fellow, what is there? Only life experience should teach. So Shastra says, hey, don't go behind the sensory pleasures, you will have trouble. So this fellow doesn't hear that, so he goes on putting lot of sweets and cashew nuts and other things. Then doctor comes and says, sir, you have become sugar producing milk, so no sugar is allowed for you. You have become already sweet, sir, no more sweet. That time this fellow remembers, in that satsanga that Swami told, even if it is Tirupati Laddu, don't take much like that, he told. Then you remember, na? So for him also, to fulfill his small desires, there must be, because he is also in the humanity, he is also part of the humanity, he should not be negated. Shastra is like mother. Sahasra matrubhyam itaishini. Mother will not treat each child in one way. Her love is same. For intelligent child, one type of benefit. For mediocre child, another type of benefit. For immature and what you call unintelligent child, another type of benefit. That's what Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna used to say. Bhagavan knows whom to give what type of food. For some, biryani is given. For some, curry is given. For some, soup is given. How much one will digest, that much only should be given. So Veda contains all these teachings, but ultimate goal and ultimate aim of Veda Mata is what? To make you Amritasya Putra. To make you to understand that you are infinite entity. You don't lack anything in the creation. You are the only significant entity. Tadu Tvam Asi. If a person doesn't gain this, and that too in human life, his life is a simple waste. Iha ched avedi ata satyam asti na ched ihaveti mahati vinashti. So, entire Vedic words are made as pramanam, valid. Certain portions are valid in the form of preparing us, and certain portions are valid in the form of revealing ultimate reality to us. Understand? So Karma Kanda, they call it Jnana Kanda. Karma Kanda is valid in the form of utility, in the form of making us matured. And Jnana Kanda is valid in the form of revealing our own infinite nature. Therefore, more than utility, reality stands. Utility are subject to arrival and departure. It's all subjective. Putra Kameshti Yaga is not useful for a sannyasi, correct? Putra Kameshti Yaga is not useful for a sannyasi. So it's all utility are subjective. Shampoo advertisement is not useful for balded wala or sannyasi, correct? But you cannot say shampoo advertisement should not be given, shampoo should not be produced, it should not be discussed like that. It may not be useful for you, but it is useful for others. So Veda contains every blessed thing which are useful for physical life, emotional life, intellectual life, and ultimately for spiritual life. That which is useful for spiritual life is the last word of Vedic teaching. And a person who gains this last word of Vedic teaching, how he will be, what type of life will be, What will be the nature of that achievement? What will be the nature of that gaining, which is called moksha? Gaining moksha means what? That is the subject we were all discussing all these classes, and we have seen that moksha is our own real nature. Therefore, we cannot attain it because it is our own real nature. We need not attain it because it is always with us, but we should discover it that it is our nature. So entire spiritual life is towards jnanam. Sarvam karma akhilam partha jnane parisamapyate. All types of sadhanas are culminating in knowledge about our own reality. In the next class, we will see the final summary of the entire class. We began this class with a lot of questions from materialistic Nastikas and the confused Astikas. Those questions we will answer in the next class. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Haraye Paramatmane Pranadakleshanashaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.